hold up, he has a restand that is not punishable. NRS, it only took you a year, but good job, dude.
What's up?
Alright, so for our man Kollector, they just made a couple adjustments to his slot count. So they made his War Toss whatever, which is this one, costs 1 ability, and the Relic Lore costs 2. It doesn't affect anything because his third variation Squanderer still has those 2 same things. It's just in custom variations, if you wanted to switch out the moves or whatever, it's changed. So that's kind of whatever, but okay. So now Relic Lore, which is this move here, they made this better. It now starts off in 16 frames. It was 27. It has 10 more active frames, 4 more frames of recovery on block, and 11 more frames of recovery on miss. So basically it's more punishable on block and more punishable on whiff. It's just better that has like more active frames, so it lasts longer, that you can get hit, and it starts up faster. The reason is because this move is now an armor breaker move, and then it reduces combo damage scaling, which means if you do this in a combo and the opponent breaks out, you're gonna get even more damage. And that's not bad for a modified 1-bar combo. That's pretty decent. So it just allows you to continue your combos, because even after this, you might just want to do this anyway for a combo, so you don't really lose all that much anyway. So it's actually a really good armor breaker for Kollector. And I just want to show you how Relic Lore is on block. So before it was -6, but now it's actually -9. So now it's more legitimately punishable. But there's still a gap in it anyway, so let me show you. Even before, like, it was -6, it seemed safe. It actually wasn't actually safe at all. Because look, you can just block the first part, and then you can poke in between, see? So it's not actually a real thing to be safe anyway. They just made it a little bit more punishable. It's whatever, it was always punishable anyway if you knew how to. And they did another kind of nerf slash buff for the amplified version of this. They basically made it so it has 3 less active frames, so it's not as active as long. So, you know, it's still working combos, just not in mid-screen. 4 less frames of recovery on hit, so that means it makes it easier for you to get a combo, because after you hit it, you recover quicker, you can more likely dash up to do something. 8 more frames of recovery on block, so again, if it blocks, you die. And this one is 11 less for recovery frames on miss. So if this misses, you're a little bit safer than the regular one if it misses. But still, like, I mean, look how long you're standing there. So, you know, it's still not safe to just throw it out there. Just use it, you know, as a hit confirmable combo thing. Okay, so our boy Kotal Kahn. So this Metikusu cut. Not even gonna try to pronounce that. This one, it now starts up in 16 frames instead of 20 frames. And why did they make it faster? Because it's an armor break move now. Alright, so I'm going to show you what the crushing blow looks like. So it's pretty good, because normally this would only crushing blow like on a counter, like an anti-air counter, which is kind of hard to do. So now if you amplify it on breakaway, it gets a crushing blow. So that's pretty cool, and I think it's an actual useful one, because if you think about it, most of his combos end in this anyway, so I mean that's actually a really good thing. So what I noticed is the good armor breakers are the moves that you normally end combos with. So if you have like a combo ending move and that happens to be an armor breaker, then you're set, you're golden. Okay, so this next move, this is his cat or whatever, Talk Le Mans, whatever it's called. It says it recovers 1 frame faster on block. So let's see if that makes it safe. That's it on amplify. So you amplify it. Okay, now it's -7, so it's no longer -8. So now you can't get like a full combo punish, but you can get like a down 1 punish and whatnot. And then the air version is 5 frames faster on block. So look at that, -4, -4, probably here it's like less minus, yeah, -1, so they made it a lot better. So basically if you amplify the cat, you don't have to worry about being punished. Now of course the regular version, you know, is still obviously unsafe, so don't do that. But if you amplify, it's safe. Okay, the next one has to do with his totems. It says now they're stacked correctly and respect the number of totems used, whatever that means. Then check this one out, guys. This one's intense. They made his fatal blow do 329 damage. Now it does 300 and 30 damage. The damage buff has been increased by 1 damage. Kotal Kahn S tier confirmed. No, not really, it was kind of whatever, but it just made the scaling better, so only the final hit has scaling, so that's good. And then the other issues are just little visual issues that have been fixed, no big deal. Alright, so moving on to the Shaolin brothers. So Kung Lao got like a bunch of adjustments, so let's see. So it adjusted the victim range of the 3rd and 5th hits of Double Yang. So Double Yang is basically this move. So they adjusted the hit region. Probably hits more consistent now, so that's good. Okay, so the move Disrespect, because Lao disrespects everybody with his constant jumping. It's less minus on blocks. Let me put him to block. So this used to be like minus 13, so now it's minus 8. So it's still punishable, but in a sense, it's difficult to punish. Let me tell you why. Because first of all, he can finish the string, which of course that's punishable. In his other variations, like the Lotus Fist, he has the orbiting hat he can use. In this variation, maybe he can use a cancel or the spiritual guidance, I forgot the input or whatever. So it's less likely to be punished. It still can be, but it's safer, so that's a good thing. Okay, so this buff, I can't figure out a use for it. So this is Spin Kick. Spin Kick, I believe, is standing 4, which is this move here. So basically, they made it come out in 14 frames instead of 15. Okay, a little bit better. Active frames are 3, so I guess maybe a little bit better of an anti-error. You know, it used to be only 1 active frame. 2 less recovery frames on miss, so it's a little bit safer on miss, which is okay, whatever. And its cancel frame now occurs 4 frames earlier. So since the cancel frames occur earlier, that means you can cancel a special move faster. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I can cancel this to a special move, you know, but it doesn't even combo. And I tried like for other spins and stuff like that in the regular other variations, and it still doesn't combo. I don't see the usefulness of it. Maybe, you know, let me try this. Hell, maybe in the corner it actually, you know, does something maybe in the corner. Hold on, let me see. Maybe the regular spin will work, but this doesn't really work. Hat toss doesn't work. So if you guys find the use for it, let me know. But this canceling a little bit faster really means nothing as far as I can see. So this next one is really cool, which is Shaolin Slam, which is this teleport here. It makes it have 16 less recovery frames. So basically, you have enough time to do like a full jump over after this move. So it's actually pretty legit. So they made that move actually better, and you actually have some reward for landing this. That's pretty hard to land because the teleport is so easily punished, so that's pretty good. Okay, so the next one is basically his flawless block up 3. It now does 90 damage instead of like 103 or whatever. So it's better, not, you know, crazy. I mean, it did not 103, it did like 135, some crap like that. It did like way too much damage, so they adjusted that, so that's a good thing. So this one's cool. It made the Soul Burst, which is this move of spiritual guidance. Every single one of the hits were mid. Now, I never really use this variation because I call it Order of Trash, because it's still trash, and it is Order of Trash. It's bad. But whatever, I guess maybe some of these were like highs or whatever, so now every single one of them is a mid, so you have to respect it, so that's pretty good. And the next one was some kind of bug fix for that move. And then the other ones, I don't think these are actually tournament variations. It says second projectile, possessed hat. He doesn't have anything that has a second projectile, and I remember that's a cut move. Okay, this one's cool. Beaten and Broken, which is his fatal blow. It only has damage scaling on the final hit. So basically, like they do with other fatal blows, it has better scaling, and especially Lao's fatal blow is already kind of bad with the scaling. It didn't do much damage, so that's good, so they made it better. And then this one says, Hat Toss, Possessed Hat, no longer immune to reflect moves if they hit on the first frame. I guess it means like the first frame of his hat, like if you parried it on the first active frame, I'm assuming the parry didn't work, so now it does work. Wasn't really aware of that. I'm assuming that's what it means, so that's cool, I guess. And then the other one are just random bug fixes, so let's move to Liu Kang. Alright, so my buddy Liu Kang. Now check this out. This is a really, really big nerf. Total Destruction. This used to be +3. -2, baby. This is -2. So Liu Kang's pressure has been minimalized. And if y'all seen my video on how to deal with staggers, I'll have the link on the top right. Now you can utilize that for pretty much all of Liu Kang's strings, because you couldn't use it before with this string because it was plus. So if you poke, you're gonna get hit. It doesn't make any sense. So you couldn't really challenge it. So now you actually can, so that does hurt Liu's pressure. Now, I mean, it's still really good because he can do this into like Fireball and other variations. So he still has ways of mixing it up. It's not a guaranteed win for you, but it does hurt Liu a little bit, and it does bring him down a peg. He was a little bit too good, so I understand why they did that. And this one, they adjusted the victim region of Chosen Strike. I think that's back 2, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, Chosen Strike is just this move. I guess that makes, this hit more consistent. So, okay, that's good. Then they made his command grab break armor. So that's a buff to his 3rd variation. So just to show you an example of how that looks. So that's pretty decent. It's nothing special. You don't get all that much damage, but it's something. Okay, the next one is Dragon Fire. That's his buff, like his fire buff and Woshi Legend variation, where it now has 3 less recovery frames, so it recovers faster, so it's harder to punish if he just throws it out there. And then this one's kind of weird. It says Bicycle Kick Amplify can now be performed twice after the slam attack in the same combo. So what I'm assuming that means is that slam they're referring to, I think that's his 4-2, this one. So this move before, apparently you couldn't do double amplify of the bicycle kicks, but now you can, I guess. I always thought you could anyway, but now it lets you. Maybe it didn't let you do double amplify before, so whatever. And the next one is some kind of bug fix, so let's go on. Alright, so for Noob Sidebot, Dark Push. Okay, that's this one here, the mid that nobody uses. It has 3 more active frames, so that's good. 1 more recovery frame on hit. Okay, so it's not as good on hit, okay. So it has 1 less recovery frame on block, which that's good, makes it safer. And then 4 less recovery frames on miss. So slight buff to this move, okay. So now check this out. Dark Push, which is that move I just showed, it breaks armor and it can be canceled when you break armor. So let me show you what that means. That's actually really good. See, I was able to cancel that. Now, I can just get a way to get Sickle Snag. Oh, look at that. So that is freaking cool. You can actually get combos if they break. Now, if they don't break, you don't get jack. So it's actually a guess if they're going to break or not. So that's actually pretty cool. You can actually get legitimate combos with that. So that's awesome. Okay, this one, it says the head victim range adjusted from Sickle Snag. So basically, again, it makes this better as a raw anti-air. They've been doing that with some other moves. Sickle Toss, which is this move, it used to be able to be parried for some reason, and now it cannot be parried as it should be because it's a projectile. And I'm not talking about projectile parry. It was able to be like normal hit parried. Like Liu Kang's parry was able to parry this. It was kind of weird. So they fixed that. And then the Fatal Blow, they made it so it has 3 more active frames and 2 less recovery frames. So they just buffed this Fatal a little bit. So let's go to Raiden. So Raiden, they did like a bunch of stuff. Okay, so let's go string by string. So they first changed Elder Fury, which is this one. So they made it safer. This used to be like -9, so now it's -8, which is kind of unfortunate. But this is how they did it though. They made it have 6 less recovery frames, so it recovers faster, but then it has 5 less frames of block stun, which basically just makes it 1 less minus frame, but the whole situation recovers faster. Like, he's able to move faster, so you have to react quicker with a punish, but you can still punish it anyway. It's -6. And it can be combo canceled on block, it says, which basically means you can go into your throw. Where before you couldn't, but now you can, so it adds an extra layer of mix-up to it. So the throws are high, you don't really have to worry about it. And you can duck block this too, as you can see. Noob is just duck blocking and you can block that. So just don't stand block on Raiden, and you're good. Okay, next one is Power Discharge, I believe. Okay, this is this move, the fall off of the string, one with the grab. It has 3 less startup frames, 1 more active frames, 4 less recovery frames on whiff. So that means it recovers faster on whiff. So basically, if the throw whiffs and you duck under it, you have a little less time to punish it, but you're still able to punish it. So that's kind of pointless in my opinion. Okay, next one, they adjusted the hit region of High Poke. Let me see which one. Okay, High Poke. So yeah, it was basically the next few buffs. Like High Poke and the rest of the follow-ups to that string, they adjusted the hit region to make it better, more consistent. It was whiffing too much, so they made it better. Okay, then this one is a second hit of Hammer Fist, which Hammer Fist is his overhead, It says it has more pushback on block, which is okay. So you're thinking, whoa, does he have safe overheads? Oh, no, it's right there, minus 18. So you can't just do stand one punishes. You have to do a different kind of punish, but everybody has an 18 frame or faster move that can punish Raiden from this range. So still punishable, but it should be punishable because it has a crushing blow to it. But whatever, it's punishable basically. Okay, so Heavy Storm, which is this move here, they did a good buff to this move. It has 5 more frames of block stun, which basically means it's +2. So this move has a purpose. Now it's a high, but now you're +2 after this. So people would always use this. Now there's a reason to use this move because on block it's plus. Now the next one, the Calm. The Calm, I believe, is this string, if I can find it. Yes. So this string can now be canceled to its follow-up low hit on block. And if you check that out, that's still minus 16. From that range, very hard to punish. Few characters can. So there is still a flawless block gap in this string. And if you were to flawless block it there, the follow-up won't come out, so you can get your punish. But that's pretty good. So if you don't flawless block it, it at least makes it safe. Okay, the next one is the Might of whatever. That's just the follow-up string, which is the name of this basically. It says now it hits mid, 1 more recovery frame, 5 more frames of block stun, blah blah blah. Basically makes it safe. I mean, they had frame data on this move before, but it never came out on block or miss anyway, so it's kind of whatever. So they made it safe against most characters, which is good. Raiden needs some safety in his life. Okay, so this one is cool. Massive Destruction, which is this move here. The second hit now hits overhead. Now there's no real mix-up to it. There's no way he can go to a low special move. Well, actually, maybe some variations he can. But anyway, so this has an overhead now. So that's actually pretty good, pretty decent. So it at least makes it some kind of a mix-up. You have to react quick because it actually comes out in 23 frames. Because the first hit's 11 frames and the second part comes out in 12 frames. So if you think about it, it's a 23 frame overhead with a mid to make it safe to check the opponent. So it's actually pretty decent. Okay, so the next one, they buffed the Lightning Bolt. Now it comes out in 27 frames instead of 28 frames. Has more block stun, more pushback. It basically makes the projectile better. It has 2 more frames of recovery on hit, so it's not as good as him hit. It has 1 more frames of recovery on block. So basically it's more recovery on block, but then it causes more block stun. So at the end of the day, he's in a better position. Then it has 2 less frames of recovery on miss, and an increased window to cancel and to amplify. So basically you have a longer time into where you can amplify. You can amplify later basically, which is not by much, only 2 frames. But it makes a difference. And then the whole amplify version has 1 less startup frame and 5 more frames of block stun and pushback. So if you were to do it in somebody's face, it's actually safe. Hold up, a +1. Now of course you can duck the first hit, so there's no real mix up there. You just duck and get a punish. And the same thing with the string, you duck the throw as well, so there's not really a mix up in that per se. But if there were just a whole block, you can make yourself safe and actually possibly plus. So this one is interesting. The first 2 hits of Storm Cell can no longer be broken away. So when you're being hit by Storm Cell, when the Storm Cell is the one that's juggling them, they can't break away. But they didn't fix one of his main issues. But let me go over the Truth and Light stuff and then I'll talk about that. So his Lightning Rod, which is this move, it does 70 damage on hit instead of 50, so they made it a little bit better. And then basically the projectile that shoots from the Lightning Rod does more damage than before. So you see that does 40, the reflected version or whatever. It used to do only 30, so now it does 40, so that's kind of whatever. This move here, this one now breaks armor. It's called Summon Lightning. So if you do something like this, well, it doesn't always hit, depends how he breaks. So it breaks armor, that's kind of whatever. It doesn't really give you any kind of crushing blow or any kind of real reward. It just at least lets you get your combo. But if you see if they break away immediately, it doesn't work. If they break away slightly late, then it works. So that's kind of inconsistent. So for his first variation, they basically made it so his electric fly cannot be parried. So you can't parry this no more, which that's good. I mean, it's kind of dumb that you even could to begin with. So the amplified crushing blow of this, which normally this crushing blows if it hits at a certain distance, they made it a little bit less. So you don't have to be like full screen. You can be like here, and it still gives you the crushing blow, which is pretty good. Okay, so now let's talk about Storm Cell. It says you can't break away from the first 2 hits of Storm Cell. So let's check this out. You do something like this. See, you can't break away to the end, which that's actually pretty good. But there's one issue it did not address. This is one of the main issues with Raiden, which they completely forgot about. So let's say Raiden does this. So as you can see, they didn't really fix that issue, and I consider that one of his biggest issues. So yeah, that's still a thing. They honestly should have made Storm Cell the armor breaker move. That would have fixed the issue, but whatever. Anyway, so let's move on to the next characters. Alright, so for Scorpion, the next one, they adjusted the hit region of Gut Slice, which is this move, okay? So they made Flip Kick, which is his overhead, now comes up in 22 frames instead of 27. So it's a less reactable, still reactable, less reactable overhead. That's good. And it also breaks armor. So it's kind of hard to get this to work, because if you do it like this, you put the breakaway instant, it's not actually ever going to happen. Now I have to put it to like literally late for that to actually work. And then you get like a pop-up or whatever. So that's good, but it doesn't really work too often. It would work off a down 2 crushing blow, but any kind of juggle that involves a teleport is not going to happen unless they break away late, and no one's going to break away late. So his armor breaker isn't really that good, but in very specific situations it can be used. Honestly, I just take it as his overhead got buffed, so at least his overhead's better. That's the only real thing that this really affects. So his back throw has a crushing blow now as well. Okay, let's read it to you here. Back throw, same thing, escape fail, same as his first throw. So now his throw is a little bit scarier, so that's a good thing. That is a good buff to Scorpion, so it makes his throw game more threatening. So this one is kind of whatever. It adjusted the hit region of Death Spin. Death Spin's in his Burning Spectre variation, where he just tosses the spin around, spins it or whatever. It adjusted the hit region of all hits, whether the regular version or the Amplify. So that's okay, that's whatever. Okay, I just switched to Burning Spectre. So apparently this has an EX move. I didn't even was aware of that. That was like his buff version when he buffs his damage. So it has an EX version and now does 50 damage instead of 30. And it has a different hit reaction, it says. Maybe it wasn't a restand before, but now it is a restand, so it's kind of whatever. And then the other 2 buffs are to his Misery Blade, to where he has a sword and he goes like for a low attack and an overhead. So basically the amplified versions, it does more damage. So like the amplified overhead does 100 damage instead of 80, and the amplified glow does 80 damage instead of 60. So this minor damage buffs, he gets a little bit more of a reward at least. Alright, so for Miss Skarlet, so this string called Thicker Than Water, which one's that? Okay, Thicker Than Water, this one here. So it has 3 less recovery frames on hit and miss, and 8 less recovery frames on block, and 5 less block stun. So basically, it has 8 less recovery frames on block. So it recovers 8 frames faster, but it has 5 less frames of block stun, which means it's 3 frames better on block, basically. Which makes it out to be -3 instead of -6. So that's good, but it's still flawless block gap, and you'll still die for it anyway, so yay. Okay, so Whip Snap, I think that's stand 3 if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, that's Crack Whipped. Here, yeah, this is Whip Snap. This is one of her better moves, to be honest. They made it has 4 less recovery frames. Okay, cool, so it recovers faster, so that's good, that's a general buff, she needs it. So Quick Transfusion. Let me see which one is Quick Transfusion. Okay, cool. So now it starts up in 24 frames, the last hit, instead of, hold up, 25 frames. So it's 1 frame faster. But it still has a gap, right? Okay, still has the gap. So, yay. Okay, Sickle Slam, I assume that's her overhead if I'm not mistaken. Okay, yeah. Sickle Slam, what they do, it has 5 less recovery frames on hit. So on hit, it's better. You get more Oki on hit. And it has 10 more frames of hit advantage. So basically, on hit, it's better. But who's going to get hit by this overhead that's 22 frames? Like, really easy to reactable. It's like, so telegraphed. Like, you just look at it. It's just really telegraphed. So, yeah, no one's going to get hit by that. Okay, Crack the Rip. Okay, that's this move here. So this one starts up in 19 frames. It was 21 frames, but why would anyone use a 19 frame high when they have a 13 frame mid that goes about the same distance? Okay, next one. Okay, this is a legitimate buff. Coagulation, that's her 4-4. Like, it used to be a double high, now it's a high mid. So now her plus frames are actually more usable, so that's really good. So it's +6, so it's decent, I like it. So they made Blood Spatter have 2 less startup frames, so that's good. It starts up quicker. Has 3 less recovery frames on hit, which means it's better to combo with, and has 2 more recovery frames on miss or block. So basically if they whiff it or they block it or whatever, it's not as good, which that's fine. It should be punishable because it's actually like a combo starter, combo ender move. And it has 10 more frames of hit advantage. So they buffed this move. The reason they buffed this move is because now it breaks armor, and when it breaks armor you have 10 less recovery frames, so it's even more recovery frames, so it makes it a lot easier to actually get a combo with it. But from what I've seen, it mostly only works in the corner. And they also have the amplified version, same thing, less recovery frames, 2 more frames of recovery on Mr. Block, so it's more punishable on block, and now it also breaks armor, so that's good. And it has 15 frames less recovery when it breaks armor, so that's actually really good. So let me have the opponent break. So that works better in the corner, because like mid-screen you can do the armor breaker where you can't really convert off it, so it's better in the corner, but that's still really good. And then the last buff, they made our teleport have less startup frames. Don't ask me why. Sonya shouldn't even have teleports, but whatever, they buffed their teleport. Alright, Sonya Blade. Let's start off. They adjusted the hit region of counterattack. Which one is counterattack? Okay, counterattack is this one. So I guess they made this better, you know, better hit region or whatever. So whatever, that's fine. Alright, Hellish Hook is her forward 2. They made it have 4 more frames of block stun with increased pushback. So they made this a little bit better. -4 instead of -9. So that's always a good thing. Then they made Boot Camp. That's her forward 3. So this now breaks armor. So that's pretty decent. It's kind of whatever. Nothing all that special. You don't get any crushing blow or any kind of situation like that. But, you know, at least it breaks armor now. So that's pretty good. And then this one, it adjusted the head victim range, which she's doing air control. Oh yeah, air control is let me see, yeah, this move here. So basically they made this again a more consistent anti-air. That's been a recurring theme throughout most of the characters, so that's good. Okay, so this one is Ops Drop. She had like some air command grab, I believe that was called Ops Drop. Yeah, this one. So they adjusted this move, and what they do, they made it have 13 frames of less landing recovery on miss. So when it misses, you can move faster. You don't get punished as hard for it missing, so that's kind of cool. Okay, so in this variation, the third one, they basically just adjusted all of her cat drop ones. So basically they made basically all the variations of the move, regardless of what it is, like the tantrum, the mortar strike, the 50 caliber, whatever. Just for all of them, they made it have like less startup frames, it recovers faster, better recovery. So basically they just made all the cat drop stuff like better overall. So they helped it a little bit because nobody was really using this variation. Now I still think no one's going to use this variation, but it's a little bit better now. Alright, so for our boy Sub-Zero, so okay, Brutal Kick. Okay, this one is kind of sad. So they made Brutal Kick better. Alright, it starts up at 25 frames instead of 28 frames. And then it says with Flawless Block, it has 10 less frames of block stun and reduced pushback. So basically, I consider this a nerf. Even though this comes out faster, you know, it still makes it so if you Flawless Block it, it's even hella more punishable. -6 when it was actually +4 when you Flawless Blocked it before. They didn't change the frame data, but it just made it so you had the Flawless Block up to it to actually get a punish. So now it's actually minus, which that does make sense. I mean, when you Flawless Block something, you should get rewarded for it. But it makes it even worse because like a guy like Ninja Killer, he could react to Kotal's 19 frame forward 2 Flawless Block up 2 punish every time. So imagine Sub-Zero. I mean, it's a little bit faster, but it's still 25 frames. People like that offline are going to be able to react to it. Now they don't have to spend any meter and he's -6 and it's your turn. So that's a nerf really, with a small buff, but mostly a nerf. And at the same time, they made this break armor. So now if it breaks armor, you get a crushing blow. But let me tell you something. When are you ever going to actually get this to work? I'm going to show you some examples. I'm going to have him break quickly. Okay, so I'm going to do jump kick into it. Okay, too slow. Only way is like off. Not even that works. Okay, let me see. I'm going to do something like this. Okay, I'm trying to make it land a very specific way. See, even that, like, if they break away immediately, you're never going to get it to work. So I'm going to have to make him break late. Yeah, even late, like, it's inconsistent. I was able to get it before, but like, make a breakaway late, and it still does not combo properly. There we go, finally. So this armor breaker, very bad, poorly designed. They picked the wrong move for this. They could have picked basically anything else, but this forward kick is a very bad armor breaker. I don't see it ever being used. So you can break away on Sub-Zero for free. Just make sure you break away quickly and you're fine. So that's kind of a very lackluster situation. And the only other thing they did, they made Bridgestorm do 80 damage instead of 60 damage, and they adjusted the hit region of his fatal blow. So that's kind of unfortunate. Now Sub-Zero didn't really need that much buffs. They just needed to fix his down 1, because his down 1 is basically a high attack. So they should have made that an actual mid that can't be low profiled. But okay, whatever. So they really didn't do much to Sub-Zero, to be honest. Alright, so our boy Shao Kahn, this man got buffed in the game, he got buffed in the story. This man did a really good job in this game. I like what they did with Shao Kahn. I think he's the biggest winner of this patch. He's actually a viable, usable character now. So let's get into it. Okay, so they fixed some visual issue. Okay, nobody really cares about that. Okay, you will never win. Yes, that's this one. Okay, What'd they do? They made it have 5 less frames of block stun. So that means it's actually a nerf. They made this unsafe on block, but it's a special cancelable. So you can do this. You can actually, I think you can make it safe with this, right? Yeah, with a double low. Okay, that's punishable, whatever. Point is, you can cancel into special moves, or you can cancel into your throw. Now you can duck the throw, same thing like Raiden. But the point is, now you can actually do stuff like this, get actual combos, which is a beautiful thing. Okay, the next one, they adjusted the hit region of Last Breath. I think that's a follow-up. Yeah, the follow-up of that, which is the throw. So now it hits at the throw and has 7 less frames of recovery on miss. So the whiff recovery is better, but it's still the same. If they duck it, they can down 2 crushing blow you, so it's kind of whatever. But it gives it an extra mix-up to that string. Okay, so the next one is Dragon Toe, which is this move here. Okay, so they made it do 70 damage instead of 50, so it's actually better to do in combo, so that's good. It starts up in 16 frames instead of 17 frames, 1 more active frames, less recovery on hit, so that means it's easier to combo off of, which it should be. It's a freaking combo move. 9 less recovery frames on block. Hold up. What's it? What is this on block? Minus 14. It's better. It's better if you space it correctly. It's actually kind of hard to punish. Hey, look, if you space this out, so it's actually pretty decent. It's actually pretty decent. Oh, and it has reduced combo scaling, huh? That's really good. Okay, so next one, Con Kick. Okay, Con Kick, forward 4. Okay, they buffed this move a little bit. You know, it's already plus, so that's good. So now it does 90 damage instead of 70. So, you know, hits a little bit harder. That's good. That's good. Okay, Soldier Charge, Amplify, down. Which is down, Amplify is, he can amplify it down on hit. Let me show you. So basically with this special move, you can amplify it, or kind of does like an overhead or whatever. So they made that come out faster. So that's good. And when you hit low like that, it also breaks armor. So let me show you an example of how that looks. You do a combo wombo. Oh, they broke armor. Boom, you popped up. Don't break on Shao Kahn. What you doing? Eat that damage. So that's really good. That's actually a really good breaker. And if they don't break, well, I mean, you do lose out on some damage, but hey, that's not so bad. At least you get pretty good Oki, you know? So that's still good. So the next buff is in Spear Charge. That's his third variation where he lunges the spear at you. That's just that variation's combo starter. It has 7 less recovery frames on hit. So basically, it's just better on hit. It's easier to do combos, so that's good. And this next one is Scum Grab, which is this one. The head hitbox has been adjusted, so again, it makes it a more consistent anti-air. And also Skewered, which Skewered is the upward axe hit or whatever. Not the upward axe, upward spear hit in its third variation. That again, the head region's been adjusted, so that's a more consistent anti-air. Okay, so Ground Shatter. They fixed this move. It says something about adjusted the hit region, 2 more frames of hit advantage or whatever, and it has the same hit advantage on a juggle. So basically, this move was plus 5, now it's plus 7. But let me show you what's actually really amazing. This used to be minus 8 on hit if you did it out of the air, but check this out. Let me take off breaker. Hold up, he has a restand that is not punishable. NRS. It only took you a year, but good job, dude. So yeah, finally, this is actually a real freaking restand out of the air. So this variation, True Kahn, is actually usable. So that's freaking good. I'm so happy. They made freaking Shao Kahn an actual viable character. So awesome. So all your Shao Kahn mains out there, I know y'all very happy. Some good stuff. And the last thing for Shao Kahn, the Wrath Hammer Reflected no longer counts as the Crushing Blow requirement, which the Wrath Hammer is this. So if they reflected it, it counted as one of the 2 hits for the Crushing Blow, and if the next one hit, apparently it caused a Crushing Blow. Whatever, cool, we don't need that anyway. Shao Kahn is viable. Okay, Shang Tsung, they did so much crap to Shang Tsung, it's kind of ridiculous. So most of the stuff revolves around his string, so let's get started. So the hit reaction of the reserved pain crushing blow leaves the opponent a little bit closer to you. Wonderful, okay. Which that's this one here, so the crushing blow is a little bit closer. Okay, spiritual eruption, which that's this move here. It's now plus 13 instead of plus 16, so a slight nerf. Okay, next one, skull collapse, which is forward 2. They changed this one a little bit. It's now plus 9 on hit instead of plus 6. Okay, that's kind of whatever. Okay, shapeshifter. Let's see this one. That is okay. This one's shapeshifter. Okay, this is the follow-up of that string. They made it so it's plus 13 instead of plus 5. So basically, just making his moves on hit a little bit better, which that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You hit the opponent, you should be plus. Okay, next one is sternum breaker. That's just an individual move. That's this one. It's plus 11 instead of plus 8. Then throat kick, which is a standing 4. They made this one plus 20 instead of plus 12. Wow, plus 20. Interesting. Okay, so they made it more plus, so that's kind of whatever. Okay, so this one's interesting. So morphing back. Okay, so when you steal somebody's soul, for example, this one, when you morph back at the timer, there used to be a 7-frame window that you could not block. So now they reduced that by 4 frames. So now there's a 3-frame window which you cannot block when you turn back into, you know, yourself. So that's pretty good buff. So a lot of these other buffs are in his second variation, which no one really uses. So this one's Scatter Souls, which is a move, if you can call it a move, because it's really bad. They made it have 25 frames of startup instead of 29. Oh boy. Okay, they made that better. 1 less frame of recovery on hit. Okay, 4 more frames of recovery on block. So they made it even worse on block. Okay. Slightly reduced time to charge the higher power levels. Because you can charge this move. They reduce the time, but as you can see, still takes a billion years, and it does like 100 damage. Yay. Okay, this is pretty good. You can cancel this move. So if you have a certain level, it retains it when you cancel. So you see, like, you know, I have level 3 or whatever. It retains that level, so it charges it faster. So you can charge the level as you're going through the match. But I mean, it's pretty useless of a move anyway. But the only way I can see it being useful is maybe you charge it all the way up, you cancel it, and then, you know, you do a combo into it, and it does the max damage, but it's still pretty bad, so whatever. Okay, then it says the same move at level 2 or 3 when flawless block has 5 more frames of block stunned and increased pushback. So basically, if you flawless block, the higher levels of this is not as bad. I mean, why would you need to anyway, but okay. Okay, so level 4 when flawless block has 15 more frames of block stun and increased pushback. So basically, if you do the max level version of this, it's pretty much safe, so cool. So next one is Screaming Soul Cancel, which is this one. So Screaming Soul Cancel, it says no longer enables auto block and can only be done once per combo. So I didn't know there was actually combos to where you can just, you know, cancel and whatever. So you can only do it once per combo, not twice. So the other ones are just fix some issues, like when you're morphed, the damage scaling would not increase, fix the issue that certain attacks were not possible in the first few frames after being hit by Soul Steal. The other ones are just basically bug fixes, you guys can read through it. Alright, so for Mr. Nightwolf, his Head Splitter move, which is only specific in his second variation, Ancestral Gift. Okay, so now they made it so it now hits as a throw and has 17 startup frames up from 16. So basically, on block, this actually will still come out as a throw, which is pretty cool. So now I'm curious, can you duck this? I'm not actually 100% sure. Okay, yeah, you can still duck that and get a punish. So you just basically want to duck this move, you don't want to be blocking high. So that's pretty cool though, at least it gives like an extra mind game to it, so it makes it a better stagger overall. Okay, next one is Razor's Edge, which is another one of these strings that's specific. So this one now hits on block, which I think it always did, but now has 5 more frames of block stun. So basically, this is not punishable anymore. You see, it's -5, so that's good. Okay, so the next one has to do with Deadly Talon Crushing Blow, which is this move here, where if the last one hits by itself, it's a crushing blow. It leaves the opponent slightly closer to Nightwolf, so he gets better Oki, basically. Okay, so this one, Tomahawk Swing, which that's basically his command grab. Now that breaks armor. So you have to be in this specific variation if you want to be able to break armor, which is kind of whack, but you know, whatever. So that's pretty cool. I mean, if they try to break out of a combo or whatever, then you can do like this special move and you put them in a good Oki situation. So that's decent, but this variation doesn't really get that much combos anyway, so it's kind of whatever, but it's something. So this next one, I'm assuming it's a custom move. I couldn't find it. That Ancestral Light, it reduced the gravity. I think that's the lightning move or whatever, but he doesn't really have that in his tournament variations. Next one, okay, Spirit Tracks. Now, Spirit Tracks is this move, the low. It says while with the Spirit of Hana buff, which he does not have in any variation. It has 10 frames of invulnerability, so that's again a custom situation. And then it says Spirit Tracks with the Ancestral Hunter ability. I don't know what that is. Next one is Hannah's Wrath. We don't really have Hannah's Wrath, and the other ones are just some rare issues, so that's about it for Nightwolf. Alright, so for our boy Terminator, so the Incapacitator, which is this move, that's the unblockable move that prevents you from using any meter. It does 50 damage instead of 30 damage. I mean, okay, whatever. Okay, so the head victim range while he's doing Infiltrator Toss, which that's his toss move or whatever in his Destroyer variation. His head has less of a hitbox, so again, making it a more consistent anti-air. Okay, so this one is his command grab, the Gorilla Press. That one breaks armor, so that one's pretty cool. So you can do something like this. And it breaks armor, which that's amazing because in some variations, this leads to crushing blows and stuff. So that's really good. But now he has 2 different kind of command grabs. Now I'm kind of curious. In his second variation, he has a specific kind. It's not called this one. It has like a modified version of Gorilla Press. Now, I don't know if that one also breaks armor, so that's what I want to see right now. So let's see what it's called. And this one is called Backbreaker. Let me see if this one breaks armor, because this is actually the one that leads to crushing blows. Okay, you see, this one does not break armor. So in his Dark Fate, he does not get the command grab that breaks armor, but he does get it in his other variations, so that's interesting. And then this one is if you attempt to do a running man cancel when you do not have meter, it makes a sound. So okay, boom. So it makes like a little clink sound or whatever, so that's whatever. And the other 2 ones, I couldn't find those moves. I believe they are custom moves, Cyber Rift and TED. I don't know what those are, so don't worry about them. So for Sindel, it's not really worth even going into a match with her because all she has is her Mana Squeeze, which is her back forward 1 that breaks armor. Her Royal Trap, that's her unblockable thing. When Geras does this move called Reawakened, I don't know what that is, it makes it go away. Cool. When you're attempting to do one of her screams or whatever and she's doesn't have enough meter like for a cancel, that makes a sound, like okay. And then fix some other rare issues, so nothing that crazy. Alright, so now for Joker. Now, Card Kick. Let's see which one is Card Kick. Alright. Oh, this one. Now it does 30 damage instead of 50, so a little bit minor damage nerf. Cool, cool, cool. Now, that's this move. This is because it kind of goes like you know? Okay, that does 30 damage. It used to do 50, so again, another Demahe nerf. Poor Joker. This man's getting nerfed. What can we do? Okay, the next one is CCDDDDEG, whatever. The amplified version of this move now breaks armor, so that's pretty decent. I like it. So let's see how this works. So I find that works best in the corner, mid-screen. I couldn't find a way to actually make that work if they do a fast breakaway, so that's pretty cool overall. Okay, the next couple things, it fixed some rare issues, okay. And this one's kind of weird. Puppet Parry, Corpse Trot Amplify, Kapla, whatever. Some different special moves have reduced damage when Jackie's in her tech dome or whatever. So, I mean, alright, whatever. And this one's kind of weird. Full Swing, which Full Swing, that's his jump 2 if I'm not mistaken, yeah, when I looked in it before, yeah, full swing. So basically this does not hit overhead as it's going up. So I don't know, maybe some characters were so big that while he was going up like this, you know, it still hit the opponent or whatever. But as you can see, it doesn't even touch the opponent, so I don't know, it's kind of weird. But whatever, it doesn't hit overhead as it's going up, but of course as it's coming down as all jump attacks, it is an overhead. Alright, so my boy Spawn, straight palm, I think that's his stand 2 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, his stand 2, they made it a little bit better, has 5 more frames of blocks done. So it's not so minus anymore, you can actually stagger it, it's -4. So that's decent, it's whatever. Okay, this one's actually good. So Kings of Hell, that is his forward 2-3 move. This used to be minus on hit, but now it's actually +7 as it should be. It was -9 before, which is kind of redonkulous. So that's a good buff. Okay, so this one is kind of crazy. The first hit of charging Hell Spawn, which is this one here, no longer causes damage scaling. So right now his combo damage scaling is pretty amazing. He gets kind of redonkulous damage. Like, look at this. He did not get 479 for that before. He used to get like 440, 450. So he does even more damage, and he already did insane damage. So Spawn's gonna hit even harder. So that's really good. So the next one is they slightly reduced the gravity on up chain. So in his third variation, he has a bunch of chain moves. One of them makes the opponent like juggle or whatever. So now in the corner, he can actually connect the down one after it. Before he could not. So they made that a little bit better, so that's good. Okay, this one's a bug fix. This is Rising Cape, that's his down 2. Now this one used to be invulnerable to high attacks on its way up. So let me just go to Joker real quick. Alright, so have Spawn doing this. Now that used to be invincible. You couldn't actually uppercut him for doing that. So let me show you how that looks. So now you can actually get a crushing blow on him, when before your down 2 would just totally whiff. So that's a good thing, they fixed that. And the other one are just some, you know, minor bug fixes or whatever. So yeah, that's about it. So yeah guys, that's all the characters. That was a hell of a long video. So yeah, overall the balance patch, I do like it. I wish they would have done some more things, but they did a lot of the stuff I like. They did make Raiden and Shao Kahn a better character. So overall, this is a positive change, and I did like it. Well, anyway, guys, that's about it for the video today. If you guys enjoyed, just make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you guys next time.